We have some breaking news now. Former President Donald Trump has indeed named Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate for the 2024 presidential election. He made that announcement on Truth Social, which is the social networking platform that he uses. And he said he thought he was best suited to assume that position. A little bit about Vance. He is an Ohio senator currently. He did serve in the Marine Corps and then was a venture capitalist as well as a corporate attorney. In the past, well, I guess a little bit more distant past now, he had been critical of then candidate and President Trump, but the two have since made amends as Vance has sort of reversed some of his earlier comments. Of course, he's also the author of Hillbilly Elegy, which was something of a memoir/social commentary. Our Rick Newman is here now with more on this choice. Hi, Rick.
Hi, guys.
So does this indicate some level of comfort on the part of Trump with his chances now in the broader election? In other words, what does Vance do for the ticket?
I think of J.D. Vance as maybe he's like the next generation Trumper. So when Donald Trump is no longer a political force, who will be the driving force of the political party? So maybe now it's J.D. Vance. I mean, just to put this in context, I mean, a lot of times there's not a lot of going on in the campaign. We know who the candidate's going to be, so there tends to be a lot of drama. This is the next thing that's going to happen. He's going to pick his VP nominee. Who's that going to be? Everyone wonders that the parlor guessing game and all this kind of stuff. Then it happens. Then it doesn't matter very much. So I think J.D. Vance matters at least in this one regard. I mean, if Trump wins, I mean, he's almost as old as Joe Biden. And if whichever one of these guys wins, assuming they're the two candidates in November, we're going to have the oldest president ever. So you could say the odds are higher than usual that the vice president actually might end up taking the job. So voters do need to decide, do they think J.D. Vance is qualified to be president if Donald Trump wins and then Trump ends up indisposed or he dies in office or something like that. In terms of the election, he's from Ohio. Ohio is already a red state. Nobody thinks Ohio is a swing state anymore. So I'm not sure he does anything for Trump electorally. Go back to when Trump chose Mike Pence in 2016. Pence did something important for Trump, which is he gave him cover with evangelicals. And Trump did get the evangelical vote. And that actually, by some measurements, put Trump over the top in 2016. I don't see that J.D. Vance is going to do that in any meaningful regard.
But he didn't really have he wasn't in danger of losing that vote necessarily this time around, right?
I'm not so sure about that. I mean, Joe Biden is a practicing Catholic, and Donald Trump, we don't even know what he is, except a guy who holds a Bible up in the air every now and then. So I'm not so sure about that, although evangelicals would be, they're probably not as important in the swing states that matter. Also, not a woman. So Trump could have, there were some women on the list Trump could have chosen, which might have helped him a little bit with the problem that the Republican Party has with abortion and suburban women in particular. So that's not going in that direction either. So two white guys on the Republican ticket.
I guess my question is, Rick, do you think J.D. Vance brings people to the ticket?
No, I don't.
Trump wouldn't have been able to get.
I don't see how he does. And vice presidents, for the most part, don't do that anyway. But
that was sort of like the narrative. You heard that out there. Well, Trump needs somebody who can at least give him a chance to reach more independents and moderate suburbanites.
I'm not seeing it because J.D. Vance, so as you pointed out in the beginning, Julie, he was an anti-Trumper at the beginning, and I think it's about a 99% likelihood the Biden campaign is going to be running ads of J.D. Vance, for the old J.D. Vance, trashing Trump. I think everyone's going to get pretty familiar very quickly with things J.D. Vance has said against Trump in the past. But to me, he's kind of like a mini Trump. I mean, he had a Trump conversion. Trump backed him and probably helped him win the Senate seat in Ohio in 2022 against Tim Ryan, who was a pretty good Senate candidate then. So he's a convert to Trump, and he's just in the Trump lane. He's been in the Trump lane since he got elected as a senator in 2022. So I don't think he goes out very far outside and grabs many independents.
Well, let's take a step back for a moment, because obviously we are coming off of a very momentous weekend and tragic weekend with the attempted violence against President Trump and the killing that did occur at the rally over the weekend. We've been following several weeks of intense speculation about President Biden's age, whether he would remain the candidate. Now we swing back to whatever happened this weekend. We were swinging back to a more Trump-centric news cycle with the beginning of the RNC. How should people who are watching the election, watching the polls, sort of read the importance of the numbers that we're going to see, the headlines we're going to see, et cetera?
I think people should go to the beach, go on vacation, go to the pool, go cool off somewhere. I think people should just forget about it. Frankly, if you're a politics geek, the conventions, you want to know what's going on at the conventions. I think they're so totally boring. Who wants to watch this? People will tune in for Trump's speech on Thursday. If you're going to watch anything,
you think he shifts his tone there at all? Rhetoric, language.
He has telegraphed that he is going to shift his tone. I don't believe for 1 second that the
what
temperature.
He's been posting has not been much.
No,
different.
Trump. Is Trump going to have a near deathbed conversion? I'd be astonished if he did. I think we're going to be back to the same old Donald Trump by September. Biden has to shift his tone. He already has. He has shifted his tone for the time being. But by the beginning of September, which is going to be the home stretch of this election, that is when the real fighting in the trenches is going to be going on. I think we're going to be right back to where we were, assuming Biden is the candidate, which he might not be. I think we're going to be right where we were, the minute before that kid fired the round from the roof in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Well, that'll be just in time for us to have come back from our beach vacations, and we
everybody
can start
should go
paying
put it out of your
again.
mind until then.
Well,
just life advice from
in
Rick.
an ideal world, Rick Newman, thank you very
Get some
much.
sun.
Appreciate it.